All right, so Alex Hormozi, if you guys don't know who Alex Hormozi is, he made this book called $100 million Leads and $100 million Offers. And Offers is the one that a lot of people know. This one right here, this purple book. And Alex Hormozi right now is kind of getting looked at as kind of like this father of digital marketing, father of online business. He's partnering up with Sam Ovens. They're doing School, which is um, this school, and maybe you've been getting these ads. Maybe you see Alex Hormozi all over everywhere. But what I'm going to pretty much talk about today is kind of my experience, um, pretty much as a coach and as a marketer with actually this sort of shit. Because honestly, it doesn't matter what works and it doesn't matter what people say that you should do. The only thing that matters is like if you do X, are you going to get a result that you actually want? Okay. So it doesn't matter what people will say will work. It doesn't matter, oh, dream outcome, all this sort of stuff, right? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Okay. And all these concepts that maybe did work, but maybe are they really working nowadays? That's kind of what I'm going to talk about today. Okay. So pretty much in $100 million offers, Alex Hormozi pretty much talks a lot about value stacking. Okay, so he pretty much in this right here, he talks about taking an offer. So let's say I'm offering you this cup right here. This is a cup, and I want to give you this cup. Pretty much what he's saying is instead of just saying, hey, instead of me giving you this cup and saying it's $10, I'm going to give you the cup, but I'm going to say the cup is from this place. I'm going to guarantee you that if the cup doesn't deliver you enough water, then then I can give you a refund. And then I'm going to tell you that I'm also going to wrap this cup in a nice thing for you so that it looks good. I'm going to try to increase the value of this cup so much that it's attractive to you. Okay. And this is the thing that I kind of realized because he talks a lot about this thing right here, which is the value equation. Okay. Which in theory makes total sense. Okay. You have your dream outcome, you have your perceived likelihood of achievement, multiplied together, divided by the time delay and all that sort of stuff. At the end of the day, that is value. That is the definition of value. I'm not arguing with that. Okay. But this is the thing. There's a difference between relative and absolute value. Okay. And this is where a lot of people are totally shitting the bed. Okay. Because I've ran so many offers before that are Alex Hormozi style offers. I've had clients spend thousands of dollars a day on ads for Alex Hormozi style offers. I've had people try to take this approach of making an Alex Hormozi style offer. And I don't know if this is just my experience, but a lot of the times it's just gone totally south. Okay. And this is the reason why I honestly think it's gone south. It's because there's a difference between relative and absolute value. Okay. Pretty much right now, what's happening is trust is like so low. Trust is literally at an all-time low. Okay. So right now, if you go on maybe social media, you get an ad, people are saying, oh, I'll guarantee you this, I'll guarantee you this, value, value, value. And they're making this massive guarantee with a performance offer or all this sort of bullshit. Okay. And trust is just so low. Okay. It's just so low. And what people are thinking is they have to increase their relative value. Okay. So so this is the difference right here. I'm going to explain this to you. So let's say this is a cup. This cup is worth $10, but I tell you like its absolute value is $10. Okay. With the glass, it's made in China. It's 10. Let's say it's $10. Absolutely. Okay. But then what I say to you is I say, hey, listen, this is not just a cup. This is a beacon of hydration. And I frame it to you like it's something above its absolute value. Okay. Now what I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, it's absolute value $10. Yes. But now I'm framing it relative value, subjective value, that it's actually worth $30. Okay. And maybe you believe me, maybe you don't. Some people believe me and some people will buy it for $30. Okay. Is there anything wrong with that process? No. But what's happening is a lot of people who fell for that stuff aren't falling for it anymore. This is kind of what I'm alluding to. Okay. And honestly, what I'm thinking is if everyone is doing this value equation, increase the value, dream outcome, massive dream outcome, I'll make you $10,000, or you will lose 30 pounds of fat in 10 days, or you will do this. And the perceived likelihood of achievement is so high. And this is all relative, okay? Because people don't have any absolute value if they can't touch something, okay? For example, let's say I go and buy a Porsche GT3 RS. Okay? Just going to pull it up so you guys have a reference. Dream car, beautiful car. Okay? Porsche GT3 RS. Okay? When I go to the dealership and I get a Porsche GT3 RS, what happens is I go to the dealership, I sit in the car, I can take it for a test drive, I put my foot on the acceleration, right? It's quick, I feel it, okay? It's a product. What is that? This is absolute value being demonstrated in real time to me, okay? Because I'm there, I'm experiencing it, because it's tangible, okay? There's no relative value, maybe some of the stuff a little bit, but it makes sense why something like this is worth $300,000, okay? Because you're feeling the absolute value. You go to the dealership, you're feeling it, okay? Let's say I'm buying a coaching program, okay? All I'm getting is relative value. All I'm getting is a fucking guarantee. All I'm getting is a massive dream outcome. Sure, maybe there's some case studies, maybe there's some testimonials, okay? But I'm getting a ton of relative value, okay? And pretty much what the bottleneck is between these two is trust, okay? So let me draw this out for you guys, okay? So let's say this is relative value, okay? And let's say that this is absolute, okay? The intermediary between these two is one word called trust, okay? And right now, this across the entire marketplace is extremely low, okay? We have ads, we have short form content, we have high dopamine receptor, high dopamine activity, trying to, with the Subway Surfers clip below, all that sort of shit right now. And trust is just tanked, okay? So right now we're in this kind of stage right now where all this stuff, I've ran these ads, I've done all this stuff before. I'm not coming from the point of view of like, oh, this is just bullshit because I haven't tried it before and I just think it's bullshit. It's like, no, I've tested this stuff a lot of the times before, and maybe back in 2020 when Alex Hormozi launched $100 million offers and did all that sort of stuff, that stuff worked back then because the market was different, okay? It wasn't as, it was more receptive to that message, but now it's different, okay? So let me give you an example. Let me open up a Miro board so this makes sense. This is a very casual video. I just kind of wanted to make a rant because this has been on my mind for a little bit now, okay? So let's imagine this for a second. So let's say this is a girl, okay? And I'm going to give her some long hair, a little smile, whatever. She's pretty. Let's say that she is a 10 out of 10 girl. She's beautiful. She's pretty. She's good looking. She's your dream girl, okay? And let's say every time, so this is a dude, okay? She goes out in public. She goes out to the mall. She gets approached by 3 dudes on average every time she goes out, okay? Separate dudes. They come up to her, hey, can I have your Snapchat? Hey, can I have your phone number? Hey, can I have whatever, okay? Do you have Instagram? Whatever, okay? And they all say the same line, okay? They all say a corny pickup line. Maybe they say the same pickup line every time. Let me just, for the sake of this discussion, let me just say that they come up to her and say, you are so how do you spell beautiful? Beautiful. Okay? You are so beautiful. All 3 of them say this. And most of the guys who say that or come up to her will say this. Okay? So this is the market. And pretty much this is the message that the market is saying. Okay? She is the buyer. These are the sellers. Okay? There's a buyer and there's a seller dynamic here. Okay? Pretty much what's happening is every time someone's saying this, is this wrong? Is this right? No, that's just the message that these people are saying to the buyer, okay? And what's happening is everyone's saying this, okay? So if everyone just says this, okay? And then let's say everyone says this, but then there's this new guy, okay? There's this new person who, he's this dude, and he just comes up, give him a smiley face, he comes up and says this. You are so ugly. Okay? Hypothetically, which one is right and which one's wrong? I'm not saying one is better morally. I'm not saying one is amazing, one's not amazing. All I'm saying is that the market, okay, is used to this. It's used to a message And when you come in and say the message, even though this message is not right, it's not wrong, it's just the common accepted message, okay? This market gets numb, okay? It's like, okay, I've had enough of it. I've had enough. I've heard this message so many times before. I'm not falling for this. I'm not going to buy what these people are selling, okay? And then when this guy comes in and says just, it doesn't matter if it's right or it's wrong. It's different. It's not the same as everyone else, okay? It could be literally anything else. I'm just using this as an example because it's the opposite. It's the antithesis of this, okay? You are so ugly. She's going to be like, why are you saying that and not saying you are so beautiful? Okay? Now she's thinking, okay? So now to relate this back to this, pretty much in today's market, a lot of people are saying this stuff, okay? They're saying dream outcome, high value, pushing relative value, doing all this stuff. And honestly, right now, trust is at an all-time low, and the only way to differentiate is to be different, okay? So I'm going to give you an example here because this is kind of what I've been this has happened multiple times before, okay? A lot of people think marketing concepts are new. A lot of people think like Alex Hormozi is like the father of marketing, digital marketing. It's like, no. What is marketing? Marketing is getting someone who doesn't really know who you are to understand what you are, what your business is about, what your product is about, okay? In a way that will want to get them to buy it, okay? So that's dependent on the market for the most part, okay? For obviously there's other facets within how you present it, how you package it, how you present the offer. Is the offer good? But a lot of it has to do with the actual market in itself, okay? Because at the end of the day, the market, okay, who you're selling to matters more than what you're selling, okay? That's a big lesson that a lot of people haven't learned. So I'm going to walk you through this because this has been happening for a long time. So pretty much back in the I think this was in the 20s. There's this guy named David Ogilvy. Sorry, not David Ogilvy. I'm confusing this. Eugene Schwartz. And he wrote this book called Breakthrough Advertising. And he pretty much categorizes markets in pretty much 4 different stages, okay? And these 4 different stages are pretty much they're 4 different stages of a market, okay? And a market is either in pretty much one of these 4 stages. And dependent on which stage the market is in, you have to sell to that market differently, okay? So to give you an example. So he uses in this book, which was written in the 1920s, Eugene Schwartz wrote this book in the 1920s. A lot of you guys may say, oh, this doesn't apply because Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, dopamine receptors, you have to be fat. No, the concepts of psychology still remain the same, okay? Because at the end of the day, this is psychology, okay? So pretty much, if you're the first in the market, which means this market hasn't been advertised to before, let's say this girl has never been approached before, okay? You just come in and advertise the desire, okay? So the example he gives in this book is tobacco. So, for example, tobacco cigarettes will make you feel good, okay? This is the price, okay? You just advertise the desire and people will buy it because there haven't been people before in the market. You're the first in the market, okay? This is why innovation is so important, okay? Because it takes care of the advertising and the marketing, okay? This is why ChatGPT did so good. Innovation, okay? It's new. You don't have to focus. So like marketing, yes, still important, but you just really come in and advertise the desire, okay? Number 2 is when you're second in the market, okay? When you're second in the market, so let's say this girl, I'll just stick with this example. This girl's been advertised to a little bit before. A few guys have gone up to her, but it's not like a crazy amount of guys, okay? Whatever, maybe they've come in, they said the desire. You're just going to come in, you're going to advertise the desire, but you're going to make it bigger. You're going to try to outbid the competition, okay? So with the tobacco example, because this happened with the tobacco market, it was pretty much in the tobacco market, what happened is there was so many different, I think tobacco market's been around for hundreds of years, or I think Industrial Revolution is when it kind of got to the point where it was like a multi-billion-dollar industry. But pretty much you come in, beautiful tobacco leaves, the desire, you make it bigger. So if you're saying tobacco cigarettes X price, they make you feel good, okay? You're going to come in, you're going to say beautiful tobacco leaves, lower or for X price, they make you feel good to the power of 100. Okay? So pretty much you're taking that desire and you're multiplying it. You're making it larger. So it's as if you're second in the market. Okay? And then pretty much the third stage of the market is if your market is at the stage where they've heard all the claims, all their extremes, and if you keep coming in and you keep saying the beautiful tobacco leaves X price that make you feel good, people aren't going to be receptive to that anymore because it's past, the market has passed these first two stages. Mere repetition or exaggeration won't work any longer. What this market needs is a new device to make all these old claims become fresh and believable to them. In other words, a new mechanism, a new way to making the old promise work, a different process, a fresh chance, a brand new possibility of success where only disappointment has resulted before. Okay? So rather than just coming in and trying to say a desire or saying, hey, tobacco cigarettes make you feel good, or they make you feel really good, or they make you feel amazing, whatever. Okay, you're going to come in and you're going to focus on a new mechanism. So what a mechanism is it's the method at which someone will get the desire. Okay, so instead of just saying, hey, tobacco leaves make you feel good, you're going to say, hey, tobacco leaves with a new mechanism. Okay, so tobacco leaves grown in a lab. Tobacco cigarettes with new filtering process. Okay, something like this. Okay, tobacco cigarettes with new I don't know, in way to get into your lung system. I don't know, but I'm just making shit up. Okay, but it's a new mechanism, so therefore it's becoming new and it's becoming attractive. Okay. And in the fourth stage, if a competitor has just introduced a new mechanism to achieve the same claim as performed by your product, and that new mechanism is producing sales, then you counter with this. You simply elaborate or enlarge upon the mechanism. You make it easier, quicker, sure, allow her to solve more of the problem. You just innovate. Okay? So tobacco leaves grown in a lab take 20 minutes to smoke. Okay, so it's a longer smoking period, for example. Okay, so instead of just growing in a lab, it's grown in a lab, takes 20 minutes to smoke. Okay? So pretty much, these are the four stages that pretty much Eugene Schwartz identifies with the tobacco market in his book, Breakthrough Advertising. It's a very good book. It's actually super expensive. If you try to get the book, it's like $500 or something, but it's definitely worth buying. It's very interesting because he talks about these. This is probably the biggest concept that I got from the book. Okay, it's just this in general. Okay, so right now, what we're seeing is everyone doing this sort of stuff. You got the dream outcomes, you got the value equation, pushing value, pushing relative value, trust is low. What you're trying to do right now is you need to pretty much, like right now we're at the market where a bold claim or doing all this bold claim value stuff won't really work like it might have previously, maybe around COVID time. Okay, because Alex Hormozi, he made a ton of money with Gym Launch. Okay, he used these concepts, they worked, but the concepts, it doesn't matter if the concepts worked in the past. It's what's working now with the market because the market's always changing. Okay, so right now we need to focus on a new mechanism, making that mechanism desirable, and we need to have a mechanism like no others, and best of all, make it believable. Okay, so a lot of people who are blowing up right now, especially because I'm more in the fitness space, a lot of people who are blowing up right now are like guys like Carnivore MD, like Liver King had a decent run for a bit. The reason why these guys were viewed as kind of like uncommoditized and different is because their mechanism was so unique. Like Carnivore MD, like everyone believes, oh, the vegan diet's healthy, red meat's bad for you, eggs are bad for you. He just took the contrary, kind of like what I gave in this example. He just took the contrary. Everyone's like, oh, you got to eat salads to be healthy. He came in and said, hey, salads are actually super unhealthy. You got to eat eggs. You got to eat red meat. You got to eat all these things that are deemed as unhealthy. And now that's like, oh my God, no one has said this before. This is interesting. Okay. And that's a mechanism. That's a new mechanism to achieve health, which salads promised, but now you're coming in at a different angle. Okay. So pretty much in today's market, things are always changing. Everyone's talking about all these concepts. Everyone's talking about offers. Everyone's talking about all this stuff. And right now it's like, it doesn't matter what you think is right. It doesn't matter what people who preach to you think is right. It doesn't matter what my concepts are right. It matters if it works. Okay. And I haven't seen this stuff work recently. Okay. At least with what I've tried. So it doesn't matter what you do as long as it works. It may sound conceptually factual and it may sound correct in theory, but is the practice, like in practice, is it actually producing? Okay. This stuff makes sense. This is the definition of value, but does it actually produce? Okay. So for example, back in 2020, when Alex Hormozi kind of launched all of these different, solutions, for example, this is, I guess, kind of an illustration of the market. All right. So if this is like, let's say, the marketing world or the people who he's selling to, a lot of people haven't heard these bold claim guarantee offers before. So it's like, it's a small portion of the market. Therefore, if he comes into the market, it's different. Okay. Now, 2024 or 2025, this circle is just growing with his popularity and with all of what he's doing. Okay. And if you come in and try to do this, you're going to be in a red ocean. You're going to be competing. Okay. I would honestly rather you come in and do something that no one else has done before so that you can get a result that no one else has gotten before. Okay. Does this make sense so far? Okay. So this is just kind of a little rant that I wanted to make, because a lot of people are following these stuff, and in value, like, or in theory, it makes sense. Like, you have to, if you're selling a product like this cup, for example, if you're selling this cup, sure, you're gonna have to make sure that the dream outcome, all this sort of, yes, it makes sense, but there's a difference. I need you to remember the difference between relative versus absolute value, and how today's market is always shifting. It's always changing. Okay. And you doing some simple thing that someone says to do, it doesn't matter what they say to do, or matter what you think you should do. It matters what actually works and what's right. Okay. So if you want difference, you have to be different. You have to do different things if you want to get different results. Okay. So pretty much what I'm doing right now is I'm a fitness coach. Like, I work with fitness brands and processes like that. I work mainly with like pharmaceutical brands, gyms, fitness coaches, all that sort of stuff. And right now what I'm doing with my clients is I follow a process of validating pretty much a market that hasn't been identified yet and tackling that market. Okay. And the way we do that is a very different contrarian style process. Okay. I don't follow any of this stuff. Maybe if there's a time and a place in a market and I do think it will work, that's a tool that could be used. But right now, I don't think that is the case to actually go about that. So right now I'm doing very different things with the clients that I'm working with, and the results are crazy. You should go, if you go to my YouTube pinned results, I have some like case studies and stuff if you actually want to see some of my client results. But I just want to share this with you guys. Remember one thing before I'm just going to let you guys go. I got to run here. But pretty much just to show you this, if this is a graph of your learning, okay? So if this is your learning, so the way you learn is you learn through action, okay, and knowledge. Okay, and today, right now, you just learned something. I gave you a piece of data. I gave you some knowledge that I've personally, some insights that I've gained. All you have to do is actually take action on this, and you will achieve some sort of success, okay, from your inputs. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that. I hope this video actually found you well, and I hope you actually learned something today. Thanks.